Welcome to Goodnight, Robin, your someone to say goodnight to. I'm your host, Robin Rice. Tonight's episode is sponsored by me at robinrice.com. And in particular tonight, I want to tell you about my work as a thinking partner. I'm so excited that in my life, I've had the opportunity to work with truly some of the most brilliant minds in the world. But I also work with people who would never say that about themselves. And I'm a thinking partner, thinking through your life, thinking through your business, thinking through the ways that you appear in the world through social media, thinking through a social change project or a podcast like Goodnight, Robin. You know, even the greatest minds, they get stuck in the quagmires and the eddies of their own thought processes. And even those who are closest to us, and sometimes especially those who are closest to us, can't really get beyond the vision of who we are right now. Well, I don't limit myself to that. I like to see who you are, who you're going to be, who you are meant to be, all of those kinds of things. I go deep into that process as part of our thinking partner work. At the moment, I have a sale on for the winter, so you can get a reduced rate for 1 or 3 sessions with me. Go to robinrice.com and click on Thinking Partner under the Mentor tab. The link is also in the show notes. Today I was thinking about the harsh realities of the world and how sometimes we evaluate ourselves based on those. If I were to base my thoughts about myself on the harsh realities of the world, gosh, I'm not young enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not wealthy enough, even though I'm, pretty enough, really, wealthy enough, really, thin enough, really, educated enough, really, I have enough friends, really. I mean, all the things are very reasonable in my life. I mean, I'm, in fact, more than reasonable. I'm very fortunate. But if I put myself up to the harsh expectations of the world, I don't look like someone you're probably going to put on a movie screen. And I don't have an airbrushed quality. I don't have, $10 million to invest in XYZ, although I can make a podcast. So if I had 10 million XYZ, I'd just probably be sharing this podcast more. Like I'm doing what I would want to be doing. But when in myself, I actually go out and say, man, I'm just looking at the world and by all the standards that are out there, the beauty, the wealth, the success, the whatever, I'm a failure compared to that harsh standard. But when I look at my life and I don't compare it to anyone else, the only question is really, am I happy with my life as I'm living it? And if I'm not, what can I change? How can I shift? I'm thinking in particular, today I was thinking about myself as a writer, and I've written several books and I write all the time, but I've been working on another book and I've been struggling with it because I don't think of myself as a writer right now. It's not spending a huge part of my day doing writing. So when I realized that, I was like, oh, well, if I compared myself to, Walt Whitman and all the great writers and all of their, they wake up in the morning and they write until 2:00 in the afternoon and they don't do anything else. If I compare myself to some of those things, man, I'm really not a writer for sure. And yet things seem to get written here and there. So eventually I get books on the shelf, and eventually I've got a new book that's going to come out actually that sort of hadn't really planned on putting out, but now I'm going to put it out. And so over time, I have books on the shelf. If I worked with my identity, if I was harsh with the world's version of what I was supposed to be as a writer, as I know so many writers are, they paralyze themselves. Remember, I've told you about my mentors saying, we self-hypnotize and paralyze ourselves. So if I were to say, oh, I'm not really a writer because I don't do it this way, then I would really be in trouble. And by the way, some of those writers that worked that hard and woke up in the morning and were greats and wrote till 2 p.m, they were alcoholics. Like they had a really miserable existence when they weren't actually writing. So the cost of that kind of writing might be high. And then there's probably other people who've done that very thing. They've gotten up in the morning, they write till 2:00 p.m, and they've never had success. And so all of those things are just illusions out there. They're, again, the harsh realities that I could compare myself to, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep writing the way that I write. It eventually happens. It gets out. And if I really want to shift something, I can work on my identity around being a writer. But, for the most part, I just have too many other things that I'm doing to have that kind of a lifestyle. So it's not what I'm choosing. Anyway, I just wanted to share that because that temptation to be harsh with myself came in today. And I said, nope, I'm not doing it. And I wanted to pass that on just in case the temptation in whatever form of the world to be harsh with yourself came in today. I want to encourage you to say, nope, not going there. I hope you have a wonderful night's sleep, my friend. Love to you. Good night.